Hey guys, Old Guy Gaming here, back again with another MTG Arena starter deck review. And this one we're going to be covering Artifacts Attack. Now, I'm recording this a second time. Normally I'm kind of on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule for release for videos, and when the audio came out for this one, for whatever reason, OBS decided that it was going to make it all crackly, and it was just awful. So I noticed it after I'd already uploaded the video, and with Halloween and the kids and everything else, I just never got around the opportunity to find another time to record another video for this, and so I'm just going to re-record this one. The upside is that I've actually played this deck a couple of times, so I've kind of got an idea what it does. I'm not super excited by this one because there's a few cards in here that just doesn't work out, but we'll get to that in the end. So let's kind of cover what the idea of what Artifacts Attacks is supposed to be, and it's supposed to be an artifact deck, and all the stuff in there is supposed to be having synergies around having artifacts. So the Gearsmith Prodigy, for example, the first card in the deck, gets +1/+0 as long as you control an artifact, and there's a ton of them in there. Seal Away is kind of there. It's a common card to kind of help you out. Creatures attacking you can pull them off the table, and if they don't have anything to deal with enchantments, this is a fantastic card. This is a great answer for white to help kind of control the board. Disperse is another way to kind of help you control the board. If there's something on the table you're not really looking forward to facing, you can bounce it back to your opponent's hand and buy you an extra turn. Relic Runner. So this is the card I do not understand why it is in this deck. Cannot be blocked if you cast a historic spell this turn. There aren't any in this deck at all. So I don't understand the purpose for having this card in the deck. There's a lot of these starter decks that kind of come in with cards you can tell that are kind of tossed in there, but this one definitely feels out of place in this deck. Field Creeper kind of reminds me of the old Scarecrow from the Shadows over Innistrad set. No cool flavor text, although it walks across the fallow fields. Its awkward longing gait matches the rattling of its head and creates haunting rhythm that chills to the bone. It's a 2/1 artifact creature. It's kind of cool. It's kind of creepy artwork, but it's an artifact to kind of help build up on some of the other synergies for having artifacts. Aviation Pioneer is another one that kind of creates a colorless Thopter whenever it comes into play. Temporal Machinations. Return target creature to its owner's hand. If you controlled an artifact, draw a card. Again, building off of the bounce a spell back to their hand or bounce a creature back to their hand and be able to pull off of the draw because you have artifacts in play. Skyscanner is a 1/1 flyer, and when it enters the battlefield, you draw a card. Basically, it's a little 1/1, but it's got some evasion to it, and that can kind of help you out. Aethershield Artificer. It's a dwarf artificer 3/3. When at the beginning of your combat turn, or at beginning. Try that again. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target artifact creature gains +2/+2 and gains indestructible until end of turn. Now, this is actually super useful because you have a ton of artifact creatures in here. A good old copy of Settle the Wreckage. When creatures come out and attack, you can exile them from the game. This is kind of a real pain in the butt part of white control decks. Teshar, whenever it's a 2/2 flyer, when you cast a historic spell, return target creature card from converted mana cost 3 or less from the battlefield. Again, there are no historic spells in the deck. So I don't understand the synergies, and I feel like I keep missing something, or maybe they're talking about one that's... No, there's nothing in here that's historic from the Dominaria set, so I don't understand why this card or the other cards are in there. They're just completely out of place in this deck. One with the machine, draw cards equal to the highest converted mana cost among artifacts you control. There are some bigger artifacts in here, so this is kind of cool. Aerial Engineer, as long as you control an artifact, which you will. Aerial Engineer gets +2/+0 and has flying, so this basically makes it a 4/4 flyer for 4 if you've got an artifact in play. Juggernaut, a good old staple from the old days of Alpha Beta Unlimited. I think he actually survived all the way up into 5th edition, if I'm not mistaken, for how long this creature. 5/3, and it always has to attack every turn, but you're going to want to because it is a 5/3, and it can't be blocked by walls. Those of you who don't know what a wall is, it's one of those ones that has Defender on it that says it can't attack. Walls used to be a really big deal back in the day. Azor, the Lawbringer. When this enters the battlefield, each opponent can't cast an instant or sorcerer spell during the next player's turn, and whenever he attacks, you may pay X white and 2 blue. If you do, you can gain X life and draw X cards. This is supposed to be your endgame winner. He's a rare. He's okay, but again, doesn't fit the theme. And the Ceratops has double strikes when it attacks other creatures you control, gain double strike until end of turn. Cool rare to add to the deck, but it doesn't really fit with any of the synergies that are going on here. So it's like, here, have a random rare that fits your colors. The legendary dinosaur Nezahal himself, Primal, this is another one. It can't be countered. Love that. Absolutely love that. It allows you to have no maximum hand size, and whenever opponent casts a non-creature spell, draw a card. I can discard 3 cards and exile Nezahal, return it to the battlefield tapped under owner's control. So this is in the event that someone takes a cast out or something else and pulls it off the table, where you can actually bring him back. Again, cool card. Doesn't have any synergies with the whole artifacts attack. So I think there are some areas in this deck where I'm like, I have a lot of question marks as to why some of the cards are in here. But we'll move on. 9 plains, 11 islands. You do, of course, get the rare dual land, the Glacial Fortress, and then the tapped lands. So let's go and play some games with this deck. I think you will find, as you are playing this deck, if you do decide to go this route, that those non-synergies really do begin to expose themselves. It's just not a great deck. But I suffer for you, the fans, to be able to show you this. I'm not even going to attempt that guy's username. If you wanted to make it super complicated, you win, my friend. Opponent goes first, and I only have 2 lands, but I've got a pretty good curve. I'll keep it. I do not have high hopes for these games, and it's mostly just for fun, right? I have no turn 1 play, so I'm going to go ahead and play that tap land, because it doesn't really matter that it's coming to play tap. Novice Knight. Drop the Relic Runner. My next turn, I'm going to at least start getting some of my synergies off with having artifacts anyway. Yeah, I see a pathway to getting all of this out. So I need to have the artifact in place, so I need that to fire off all the other things. Plus it gives me a little evasion, so I'm okay with that. No, thank you. I'm afraid this might be a Knight's deck, which means it's going to get wide really quick. Sprawling. Ooh, interesting. So, drop a land. Nope. Could bounce. I like this better. Because now I'm going to hit him with that. Because he has no flyers. Oh, heck no. Oh, heck no. I think I'm going to have to take that. Yep. I have no choice but to take that. Because I really need that 4/4 to deal with. Haha, that should be interesting. Well, we're going to bounce her back. We know he's going to cast it again, but it gives me the opportunity for the card draw. And I'm going to hold on Seal Away. Yeah, it's only until the end of my turn, so there's actually really no reason not to do this. Yeah, no, I have no good answer for that. I'm just going to let that go through. Because I need to be able... And I can't even have the mechanic to bounce her back anymore. Like, I'd love to have been able to bounce her back and then... Oh, it's got vigilance, it wouldn't matter. Sure, have some more Thopters in the air. See what he does. No, I gotta hold off. I have to hold off. Darn it. Yeah, she is a huge pain. I might pull this one off so I can get the Juggernaut off, be able to draw some cards. Prodigious Growth. Love that card. Love it. That is going to be a problem. She's got Vigilance? No, she does not. Oh, that's a mistake. So I need to be able to survive this. You two have done your job. That's going to take... that's rough. I'm going to take a lot of damage on this one. I need her to go away. As much as I want to be able to seal away... Yeah, pull that off the table. Yeah, this game's lost, but we at least gave him a fair run for his money. Nope. 5, 6, 7, 8. I do have enough to kill this thing, but it's still not going to be enough to... No, maybe. He does not have trample. Oh, white. You took away my Juggernaut. That's a good play. I will good game him on this. I don't see how I survive this at this juncture. So even if I go 3, 5, 6, 7, I am still taking... Even if I do this here, if I block here and block there, I'm still taking enough trample damage to have lost the game. Very well played. Prodigious Growth, man. Everyone makes fun of that card, but when it comes out in a fun casual game, holy cow, is that thing powerful. Alright, we can get one more. We will squeeze in one more game with this. This is a well-played game. Only cast 2 blue spells on that one? Weird. Yeah, I guess that's right. I was thinking about replaying that game in my game. I only played 2 blue spells? Costa. That I can pronounce. Interesting. Yeah, I see a pathway here, so let's give it a shot. Oh, for the love of Pete, please tell me I'm not got the good old-fashioned Merfolk deck. Curious Obsession coming next, so you can attack with it and keep drawing cards. That's what I do. No, Deep Root Elite. Okay, so this is like straight up Merfolk. Yeah, well, there's not much I can do about that. Fear. Fear, my Field Creeper. It's okay, I've got another one. Where that came from. So this here is going to be really going to be the full forward. Yep, we just find it. Love this deck. It's super tribal. It's one of those things like whenever Ixalan came out, and Ixalan and the whole ooh, that's a big save right there. We will seal away your unblockable and say no thank you. But anyway, so whenever like Ixalan and Rivals of Ixalan, that whole block came out, the whole tribal idea, and they went with, you know, merfolk, pirates, and dinosaurs, and it was really cool, really something I enjoyed. I liked that set a lot. I mean, come on, you had pirates and dinosaurs. How could you possibly complain about that? So we are going to throw down... He's getting super wide, super quick. No, thank you. I'm just trying to put some offense out there so when he does swing with these big ones, I can actually have something to respond with. Deeper Elite, such a cool card. Oh, come on. What? How do you... Oh, you're deciding which one of the... So, yes, in theory, I could just chump block it. That doesn't feel very good. But field creepers are meant to die, so I will prolong the inevitable here. I will drop my 4/4 flyer. No, thank you. Highest casting cost artifact is only a 2. I can't keep taking hits like that. I'm going to take it one time. One time. He's going to get wide, though. He's going to just completely annihilate me. I mean, I can go wide, but his wide is way bigger than mine. So I have some sacrificial lambs to put out there to start picking off some of his critters, but this is not going to go well. I mean, I literally have to. Aw, boo! Put me to sleep. Good card. Okay, so this wasn't like the overpowering merfolk. I'll give it that. Like some of the other merfolk decks out there are just crazy. So as far as upgrading this deck, how would I upgrade this deck? I wouldn't. This is going to be one of the rare occasions where I say I don't agree with the entire premise behind this deck. I think if you're going to go control, there are better ways to go blue-white control. You can go with counterspells, you can go with negates, you can go with a whole bunch of other things. The whole concept that they went with on this deck, I think, is flawed from the start. Yeah, there are some cool artifacts and cool artifact creatures, and you could, I think, in previous sets, especially during the Kaladesh block, where you can sit down and go through like Thopters and be able to create a whole Thopter foundry and be able to go off and fly away with a whole bunch of creatures, maybe tossing Karn in there on top of it, and that might be an addition onto the deck if you really wanted to go with him. Where is he? I don't think I own him. Which does not look I do. So this one might... Adding Karn to this deck would be a huge improvement, and I would drop off those other rares that have nothing to do with artifacts, and I would go for 2 copies of Karn. Not only the fact that he's able to create artifact creatures, which help additionally for those synergies, but all of this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact creature you control. You've got a whole bunch of artifact creatures that you're generating, so that makes sense. I don't understand 3/4 of these choices. I don't understand this choice. I don't understand this choice. I would have just dropped Karn into this deck, 1, to really get a feel for it, and the deck probably needs 2 or 3. There's a couple other ones. I mean, if you're really going to go for the artifact, then I'd bump this up to 4. I'd bump Sealaways up to 4 to kind of give you some of that control. Disperse is okay. I like Negate and some of the counterspells better. I think if you're going to go blue-white, you want to go blue-white control. And you want to be able to control the battlefield. Add another Settle the Wreckage. You want to be able to make sure that if they're casting creatures, you're able to counter those spells. If they do get something on the board that does attack you, you can pull it off the board with things like Seal Away and Settle the Wreckage. And then there was the other one that he... Yeah, so yeah, if you were to keep with the artifact deck, Karn's kind of a requirement. And then there's a whole bunch of these, like you can... Yeah, could you go for this one for bouncing that back and drawing a card? The Gerard mechanics is kind of cool. I think there are other counter spells like Sinister Sabotage, for example, will be able to help you surveil. There are other counter spells that you could put in here that would do a better job of just bouncing spells. So that is Artifacts Attack. I hope you enjoyed. If you have a way to rectify this deck and kind of increase its ability to be a quote-unquote playable deck, I would love to hear it. This is one of the decks that I have struggled with the most in trying to make fun and viable. Like I said, Karn is the only edition I can think of that would even come close in dropping some of this stuff out. So if you've got ideas, let me know. Drop it, comment down in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. And I'll take suggestions. If there is someone out there that says, oh, I know how to make this deck competitive, add these 4 cards, drop these 8 cards out, and then you're good. That's awesome. I'd like to see it because I like the idea of what this deck's going for. It's just very poor execution. So anyway, hope you enjoyed. Again, I do have a Patreon if you are so inclined. That is patreon.com/oldguygaming.mtga. And until next time, guys, we'll see you in the arena.